Sleep wasn't a problem before electric lights came along. People went to bed when the sun went down. And if they did anything, you couldn't do much under candlelight, is that right? But insomnia is a huge problem today.
Are you struggling with sleep? Have you ever wondered what causes it? Don't worry, in today's video, I'll provide a few tips to help you learn how you may get a better night's sleep starting tonight.
And there are a few reasons. So we'll put our resident why here. Why? Why are people having trouble with sleep?
You might be surprised to learn that these two major factors can seriously impact your rest. Having your phone in the bedroom and spending too much time on screens before bed.
I want to show you what happens when you sleep. And when you understand what happens when you sleep, you begin to have a knowledge on the important times to sleep and why.
When we sleep, our brains are busy with critical tasks. The pineal gland, a small gland located near the base of our brain, secretes several important hormones, including serotonin, which is essential for mood regulation. To feel your best, get to bed early.
And the pineal gland is about the size of maybe a macadamia nut, and it's right in the base of your brain. And the pineal gland releases 4 hormones every night, but only in certain hours. In the winter time, it's between 9 and 2. And I think your summertime ends end of October, is that right? We call it daylight saving. So in Australia, I think daylight saving's just about begun, and that when daylight saving, so at the moment you're still on summertime, yeah? So at the moment it's between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m.
Going to bed around midnight greatly reduces the production of melatonin, serotonin, and other important chemicals. This lack of sleep can also interfere with your brain's ability to process memories from the day before, potentially affecting your short-term memory. In fact, consistently getting only 6 hours of sleep per night can double your chance of developing mental health problems. People frequently don't realize they aren't working optimally since they feel well.
And these are the hormones that are released. One is melatonin. A lot of people have heard of melatonin. Some people that don't sleep very well take melatonin. Well, we naturally release melatonin in that time, and it's called the fix and rejuvenate nighttime hormone. So it is this hormone that probably is mostly responsible for the fix and rejuvenation that's happening in our brain and our body while we sleep. Another hormone is serotonin. That's the mood hormone. So if you want to feel good, go to bed early. What are the kids like if they have a late night? Not very happy. Either are the adults. Another hormone that's released in these hours from the pineal gland is arginine vasotocin. Those kids are having a ball out there somewhere, yeah? Arginine vasotocin is our natural painkiller.
According to Dr. Matthew Walker, sleeplessness can make you feel like you're looking at stars, but you're actually staring at your ceiling. On a more serious note, prolonged sleeplessness can contribute to dementia and cognitive loss. Fortunately, there are natural remedies that can help break this endless cycle of sleepless nights, making your pillow more than just a headrest.
And he was asked to write study tips for the university. And so the study tips that he gave for the university are very interesting.
Let's delve into how our sleep patterns have evolved and why so many of us are grappling with insomnia today. Prior to the widespread usage of electricity, people's sleep cycles were naturally coordinated with the sun. As the sun went down, they'd relax and retire to bed. If they needed to work or read at night, they used candles or oil lamps. These light sources were significantly less disruptive to sleep than modern technology. In contrast, today's sleep environment is dramatically different. Our constant exposure to smartphones, laptops, and tablets has introduced a new challenge. These devices emit blue light, which profoundly affects our sleep. Blue light interferes with our circadian rhythm by stimulating the brain's photoreceptors that are sensitive to daylight. Understanding how our bodies manage sleep can provide valuable insights into the importance of certain hormones. The release of 4 critical hormones that are essential for quality sleep follows a specific schedule, which varies with the seasons. These rhythms respond to light and darkness and go through your optic nerve to the brain's control center, also known as the body clock. You can better manage your sleep patterns by timing your activities and sleep schedule around these natural hormonal releases. This alignment not only makes falling asleep easier, but it also increases the quality of your sleep. Melatonin is a key player in how our bodies and brains rejuvenate during sleep. This hormone is crucial for regulating our sleep cycles, and its production is highly sensitive to light exposure. To get the most out of your sleep, it's smart to cut down on screen time before bed. When it comes to sleep, 2 crucial types occur: rapid eye movement sleep and non-rapid eye movement sleep.
And the eyes moving slowly, non-rapid eye movement time. So let me show you what happens in those times. So in non-rapid eye movement time, they found that in the brain there's a courier service happening. Now all through the day, everything that happens to us is stored in our hippocampus back here. It's called the short-term storage unit. While we sleep, there's a courier service that takes all of those memories from the day up to the cortex up the top. So that's a courier service happening in non-rapid eye movement time. The other thing that's happening in non-rapid eye movement time is the cleaning system. We just mentioned that. The glymphatic system. So cleanings happen. What they found is that the brain cells seem to shrink up a bit, allowing more fluid between them, and so this cleaning system is happening. So what's cleaned up? Waste from neuronal activity, waste from the combustion of glucose and oxygen in the energy cycles in the cell, but also negative emotions, which we just discussed. And that happens after we make the decision to forgive. So when we forgive, that seems to trigger this glymphatic system to start cleaning up the waste. So these are the 2 things that happen in non-rapid eye movement time.
During REM sleep, your eyes move back and forth while your brain stays active, which is when most of your dreaming happens. This stage is vital for processing emotions and consolidating memories.
In rapid eye movement time, this is where dreaming happens. No wonder the eyes are moving fast. The dreaming. Also in rapid eye movement time is a filing system. Now what Dr. Matthew Walker was amazed at in the research that he was doing, and he's an atheist, and this is what he said. He said, it's almost as if sleep has an intelligence. This is an admission from an atheist. And if I was there talking to him, I'd say, of course, mate, it has an intelligence. It was designed by God. These incredible things were designed by God to happen at that time in the night. So what's happening with the filing system? Remember, the courier has brought all the day's memories up to the cortex. And what appears to happen is the dreaming that happens. Sorry, just knocked that. The dreaming that happens, have you noticed things from long ago, things you're thinking about through the day, all sorts of things come up. And it appears that that happens so that the brain knows how to file. He says, the filing is done in order. Isn't that incredible? So negative things that happen, there's a negative section. Wonderful things that happen, that goes into the wonderful section. And that caused Dr. Matthew Walker to say it's as if sleep has an intelligence. And of course it does. The intelligence is God. So filing happens in rapid eye movement time. This is where our inventions happen. My father was an inventor, and my brother is an inventor. So I grew up with Dad and Dave, who were both inventors. In fact, every machine that came to our house, Dad and Dave pulled the whole thing apart and pulled it all back together. So I grew up with inventors. But I think it's something we all have in us, and you could almost say it's also creativity, isn't it? Something else happens in rapid eye movement time, and that is a consolidation of the things that you learnt through the day. You could say a consolidation or a confirmation of the things you learnt through the day.
As you sleep, you first enter NREM sleep, which gradually shifts into REM sleep as the night progresses. After a period of REM sleep, the cycle starts over again, switching between NREM and REM stages. The NREM sleep cycle contains 3 main stages. You're in light slumber at first, and waking up is simple. As you progress to stage 2, your sleep deepens significantly, and your heart rate and body temperature decrease. In stage 3, the deepest sleep period, waking you becomes difficult, and you may feel disoriented if disturbed. This deep sleep stage accounts for around 25% of an adult's entire sleep time. During NREM sleep, your body concentrates on rebuilding tissues, strengthening your immune system, and eliminating waste from your brain. This procedure entails moving everyday memories from short-term storage in the hippocampus to long-term storage in the cortex. REM sleep is equally important. It activates brain areas that enhance learning and memory, repairs brain damage, and helps manage emotions. If you're not getting enough REM sleep, you might face issues like memory loss, difficulty with emotional regulation, poor concentration, a weakened immune system, and drowsiness in the morning.
Dr. Matthew Walker found that these happened in 90-minute intervals. So let's have a look at that. So let's do my favourite, 9 to 5. So the first 90 minutes is 9 p.m. to 10:30. So from 9 p.m. to 10:30, non-rapid eye movement takes up 80%. And rapid eye movement takes up 20%. So it's in the first part of the night that most of the cleaning happens. So now we've got 10:30 to 12, midnight. So at midnight, 10:30 to midnight, we've got 60% rapid eye movement time and 40% rapid eye movement time. So from 12 to 1:30, it's about 50-50. So 50 rapid eye movement and 50 non-rapid eye movement. But as the night goes on, we have a change. So from 1:30 to 3 a.m, we've got 40% non-rapid eye movement and 60% rapid eye movement. So from 3 to 5, the last 2 hours, we've got 20% non-rapid eye movement time and 80% rapid eye movement time.
To improve your sleep quality, focus on your overall sleep routine. Both REM and NREM sleep are crucial, so ensuring you get sufficient, uninterrupted sleep is key to maintaining your health and cognitive function. If you're struggling with insomnia and finding it hard to get a restful night's sleep, I've got you covered. These natural solutions are intended to help you easily overcome insomnia and ensure a healthy balance of REM and non-REM sleep. That's why I recommend aiming for a non-negotiable 8 hours of quality sleep each night. To enhance your sleep quality, consider incorporating a few key practices into your routine.
Number one, he said, sleep with your windows open. Here's the pure air. In fact, these are all the things we just listed. He said, have some sunshine every day. And I discovered that sunshine was the key to recovering from jet lag. When I go out in the sun, when I get into, say, America, I find going back to Australia is not as bad because I think I'm going with the revolution of the earth. But coming from coming from Australia to America, it's not easy. But I discovered that if I sat in the sun and I put my head up to the sun with my eyes closed and let the sun's rays go through my eyelids, and then I put my head down after about 30 seconds and open my eyes and just sit outside, then I sleep the next day. Do you remember one of the first things I said was light and dark signals are fed through the optic nerve to a control centre in the brain where your body clock is located. And the body clock communicates with the pineal gland. So sunshine in the day helps us to sleep better at night because it resets that body clock. It's called your circadian rhythm. You've heard of the circadian rhythm? It is reset by sun's rays going through the eyes. Now, I never suggest we look at the sun. Our eyes will tell us not to do that. You could look at it today though, couldn't you? It was a funny hazy ball behind the clouds. But those sun's rays help to reset the circadian rhythm. Dr. Neil Nedley, he found that up to 80% of his depressed people, their circadian rhythm was out. He also found that a lot of his depressed people were going to bed very late. And they were watching movies or playing games or on computer till late. So a couple of things were happening there. Number one, they were missing out on the rest and rejuvenation that God planned us to get every night, but they were missing out on the early morning sun. He says that first hour of light in the day, it resets your circadian rhythm. So sunshine's important.
Additionally, avoiding caffeine and sweets in the evening.
Now remember, Dr. Matthew Walker, he's writing this article for better study habits. Temperance. He was very strong on the dangers of caffeine and refined sugar, and how many students are sipping coffee late at night till midnight trying to get their study in. But what Matthew Walker found, they retain almost half as much as the people that stop the stimulants and go to bed early. That's a big difference, huge difference. So your stimulants. We'll put a big no there, no stimulants. And of course 4, this is 8 hours sleep a night. 8 hours, not negotiable. When I turned 50, I found that I started to have about 6 hours sleep a night and I felt good. I used to tell people, since I turned 50, I don't need as much sleep. Once I read this book, well, I very quickly have trained myself back into 8 hours. Because that's the danger of the 6 hour. You feel okay, but it's a great deception because all of these things aren't happening. What Dr. Matthew Walker showed is that people with Alzheimer's, little amyloid plaques, in every case of Alzheimer's, they found little amyloid plaques, which are like little calcified deposits building up in the prefrontal cortex. Now, when someone's got Alzheimer's, how's their reason, intellect and judgment? It's not there, is it? It's not there. What Matthew Walker found, that when you sleep these hours, your cleaning system prevents the build-up of the amyloid plaques. And the people that have boasted of 5 hours sleep a night, let's have a look at how their latter years are. And remember, God never meant anyone to get Alzheimer's. He meant our mind to be brighter and smarter with age. So 8 hours is not negotiable.
incorporating regular exercise into your daily routine, and eating a well-balanced diet can all help you sleep better.
So the next one is exercise. If you want to sleep good at night, get physically active in the day. If you can't run, try the exercise bike, try the rebounder, try swimming, but some sort of physical exercise. Remember Ecclesiastes, the sleep of a labouring man is sweet, because that man is physically exhausted from his physical exercise. And so many people today are at the computer. They're not doing physical work, they're doing brain work. Yes, the brain does need a rest when it's been working hard, but it needs that physical. Many guests that have been to our program, they buy the little rebound, you know, the little mini trampolines in their office. And everyone in the office does 1 minute every hour. 1 minute every hour. Now, you could even do it if you had 60 people in the office, couldn't you? 60 minutes in an hour. 6, proper diet. Now, what we're going to talk about here is timing. Dr. Matthew Walker, he showed that eating a huge evening meal interfered with sleep. When we sleep at night, our stomach wants to sleep. But when we eat a huge evening meal, then by the time we go to bed, it's usually still all in there, and your body has to keep working. It's got to keep working, otherwise that will, in that warm environment, it would start to rot, it would start to go bad. So eating breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and tea or supper like a pauper. Now, if you've got young men who are working physically hard all day, their evening meal might be a bowl of thick soup, or it might be a smoothie. But for people that aren't working really physically hard, and especially people trying to lose a bit of weight, they're better to go maybe just a herb tea, or maybe just a light soup. You will sleep better if your stomach is allowed to sleep too. And number 7, hydration. We lose water every night. I don't know if you've ever slept on a mattress on the floor, and when you wake up in the morning and you lift the mattress, you notice it's all damp, because we lose moisture every night. The most dehydrated time of the whole day is when we wake up in the morning. I say to my grandchildren when they stay, have you watered your garden yet? It's their garden down there. Sometimes they come out and say, Grandma, we've watered our garden. I say, great, it's ready for breakfast. It's ready for breakfast. I try always have water next to my bed. If I wake in the night, I have a few sips. You just have it always with you. When you are well hydrated, you will sleep better. Now, I drink most of my water in the earlier part of the day. Some people can drink 16 ounces of water before they go to bed and sleep for 8 hours. I can't. If I eat that much water, I have to get up a couple of times. I learned a few years ago not to have watermelon for tea too. It was such a beautiful watermelon. I had several slices. I think I got up 6 times that night.
Don't forget to stay hydrated, manage stress and anxiety, and express gratitude.
Something that keeps most people awake. Most people that can't sleep worry. Have you heard of the chat room? My brain tends to go into the chat room if I wake in the night. Now, what am I going to do about this? Now, I'll do, and I'll solve this. I'm a problem solver. I'm always trying to solve. And if you stay in the chat room, you'll never go to sleep. So how do you get out of the chat room? Well, there's lots of things you can do to get out of the chat room. You can hum hymns, songs. You can, what I do is I recite Bible verses. I've memorised some whole chapters. So I've memorised chapter 1, James chapter 1, and there's about 27 verses there. I don't have a great memory. This took me about 6 months to do that one. But I've done it, it's really in cement now, so I can easily relate it. So I start going through that. And do you know that I get to the third verse and my brain tries to jump into the chat room and pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. There's your prefrontal cortex. Pull it back. And I get to the sixth verse, is trying to jump into the chat room again, and I pull it back. I pull it back. I see the prefrontal cortex like the reins. Well, pull that horse back, pull it back. Pull those emotions, thoughts and feelings back. And then in the morning when I wake up, I think, now what verse did I get to? I usually get to verse 13. Then I remember no more. Or you can start at 50 and count backwards. And if that's not long enough, you could start at 100 and count backwards. So it's just getting your mind out of the chat room. Because if you stay in that chat room, it's very hard to go back to sleep. So the eighth law is trust in God. Now I gave you a principle in the last presentation, Safeguarding Against Depression. It's called In Everything Give Thanks. And I read a book on the science of sleep by Adriana Huffington. I'm ever reading books on how I can know more about these 8 laws. Because in the little book Ministry of Healing, Ellen White says, these are the true remedies. And after helping people for over 40 years in these areas, I find it to be absolutely true.
I recommend having a water bottle beside your bedside to restore moisture lost over the night. Good sleep requires effective stress and anxiety management. Before bed, engage in relaxing activities such as reading a quiet book, counting backwards, or taking a hot or cold bath with lavender essential oils, Epsom salts, or fresh lavender. These techniques can help you rid your thoughts of worries. Avoiding screen time and making your bedroom a relaxing setting by reducing the lights. Utilizing comfy bedding and ensuring adequate airflow. Expressing gratitude might also improve your sleep. Hormonal abnormalities can influence your sleep patterns. Wild yam cream can help rebalance hormones, and melatonin tablets can enhance sleep quality, but use them with caution because excessive doses can be hazardous.
I have a family member with fibromyalgia, and they sleep around the clock multiple hours. And I know it's because their body is just out of whack. But how do you get someone like that into a normal sleep pattern? They're sleeping day and night, off and on.
Yeah, they can get into a normal sleeping pattern. See, when I come from Australia to America, the first day, by 10 in the morning, I'm just wanting to sleep. But I do not let myself. I jump up and I start to do a whole lot of things. And I speak to people who suffer from jet lag for weeks, because as soon as they get tired in the day, they go to sleep. So it would be a similar thing with this, is that there's a discipline needs to happen, is don't let yourself sleep.
Consider taking valerian root capsules or tablets as a natural sleep aid. Furthermore, deep breathing techniques such as inhaling for 5 seconds, holding for 3 seconds, and exhaling for 5 seconds will help you relax and prepare for a good night's sleep. By incorporating these natural cures into your routine, you may enhance your sleep without using traditional sleep aids, making your nights more restful and your days more energized. If you're ready to put these instant sleep remedy to the test, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with anyone who could use a better night's sleep. For more tips on natural health and wellness, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.